out here on the lake. Like I said, this is a lake that is new to me. I've never fished this lake before, but I'm extremely excited to. I've heard some good things about this lake from a few people, but unless you live on this lake, it is extremely hard to get access to fish it. There's not really any areas you could publicly launch anything, but so thankful that the owner of the restaurant let me put my kayak in right there. Hopefully we can catch some fish out of here and have a new spot to come fish in quite often, because it is not very far from my house. We're gonna start off throwing a little top water on the edges here. That's the thing that's always exciting about going to a new spot. I think just casting around randomly when you don't know what to do, and then when it finally starts working, you finally figure out where these fish are, what they want to bite. I think that makes it so much more fun than going to a spot that you already kind of know where these fish are going to be, what to throw. But on the other hand, it can also be the worst part of the day, because you might spend hours trying to figure out what works and find it at the very end of your trip, or not find it at all. Wind is not terrible, but it's definitely not the best. We're gonna try to make it work though. The water here is actually much more clear than I had anticipated, and it kind of sucks because I did forget my glasses today, so if I had those, it'd be super easy to see these fish, especially up shallow, but I guess we're gonna just make it work without them. One thing I'm noticing is it's a very grassy bottom, so we might have some luck throwing a chatterbait and just ripping it through this grass. Here's a fish. First one of the day on the chatterbait. Doesn't feel too bad actually. It's fighting pretty hard. Got a nice bass right there. Chewed that chatterbait. Throwing the all-white chatterbait with the Z-Man razor shad as the trailer. My favorite trailer to go to, but nice fish right here. Let's get this hook out, get a release on him. Once again, first fish of the day, victim to the chatterbait. See how many more we can pull out of here. Pretty nice for a first fish right there. I love about the Z-Man razor shad is it's that elastic material, so like this thing can catch countless amount of fish and you don't even have to change the bait. So that's just always nice when you're out there fishing, especially if you're in a tournament or you're limited on time. I knew I could eventually pull a fish out of these cypress trees. It just looked too good to not have a fish in it. On the Z-Man frog, not a bad fish. I think honestly about the same size as that other one from earlier, right in the top of his mouth. Hooked him good. He wasn't coming off, let me tell you. Let me quickly turn this kayak around. Beautiful fish right here. Got that dark color to him because he was really up, you know, in those cypress trees under those pads. Thanks for the bite, buddy. Let's put you back. See if we can catch more of you. We're gonna keep throwing this frog around by these cypress trees. Oh, we just had one go after it, but he missed it. Gonna move him really slow now. Come back for it, come back for it. Missed it again. Seems like this side of these cypress trees is what's holding some fish right now. I mean, there's one there, we caught one. That chatterbait was kind of on the corner, so we'll just stay over here on this side, you know, maybe fish a little slower, kind of pick this whole side of this trees around, maybe even throw a Texas rig or a jig, kind of flip it up in here. We had a bite there. I think he grabbed the tails of the frog because it went underwater and I could see it, but the frog itself wasn't in his mouth. I still saw the frog. I think that fish just grabbed its tail and then ran with the tails in its mouth. This fish on the chatterbait again. I think this is definitely the smallest one of the day. Oh, we had another one following him. All right, fish number 3 on the chatterbait again. Get this line all out of here. On the white chatterbait again, right there. Beautiful fish. These fish in here are healthy. They haven't gotten too big yet, but they all fight pretty well. Definitely the smallest one of the day, but still put up a pretty good fight for the size of the fish. He had a bigger one actually following him, so we're gonna get him back in the water. Not really play with him for too long, because kind of want to catch the one that was following him. So hopefully we can pull his buddy out next, because that one that was following him might have been bigger than the other 2 from earlier. That was probably the biggest one I've seen yet today. So if you guys have been following me for a little bit, you know my PB came from a super deep hole using a simple Texas rigged Okeechobee Kraken Craw, or Okeechobee Kraken Craw made by Guggen. Got that with a owner hook right here. We got a deep hole that we're over right now. We're kind of just gonna throw this thing down and hopefully pull out a giant. We've already caught 3 fish, so you know, if this doesn't work, we'll go back to what we were doing since that was working, but I figured I'd give this a shot. You know, it's kind of like a staple. I have to. Every time I'm at a lake with a super deep hole, I gotta throw a Kraken Craw down there, just because that is how my PB came. So, may not be the most fun way to fish, but it catches fish, so. As always, guys, if you're this far in the video and you're still watching, go ahead, leave a like, leave a comment. If you're new, go ahead and click that subscribe button. We got a bunch of content coming out very soon, and if you want to see more, go over to my Instagram. It's the same name as my YouTube, Hookedwithhunter. The link will be in the description. Just hit 25K over there the day I'm actually recording this video. I'm not sure when this will be posted, but that's awesome. So thank you everyone for the support as of recently. Got a bunch of cool YouTube videos planned coming out soon. We got a video coming up. I ordered some stuff off of Temu. I know it's been like kind of popping, and I've seen a lot of people fishing with baits and lures and rods and reels from Temu, just because if you don't know what it is, it's directly from China. You can get stuff for super cheap. It's either junk or sometimes you could get lucky. So I went ahead, ordered some stuff off of there. That'll be a video coming out pretty soon. I'm actually really excited to see how some of the stuff I ordered is, because if some of it is decent, I mean, I think I know where I'm buying some stuff from now on. Fishing gear gets expensive, man. You might not think it is, but all the lures and hooks and everything, it just adds up. Also, I do want to mention, don't want to jinx it, but we might be getting a bass boat pretty soon, which will be awesome. I mean, we can take it to some bigger lakes, you know. It'll be very useful. I'll bring my nice camera out so we can actually get some better footage, some higher quality footage, some better cinematics. This part doesn't really affect you guys, but sometimes it's a pain. If we're taking the canoe with the little trolling motor that goes 2 miles per hour, or this kayak where I have to pedal, man, it gets tiring, you know. I may be young and everything. I always check the weather when I come out fishing, and I see it's gonna be windy, but like, what am I gonna do? Just stay at home and do nothing? I come out here anyways, deal with it, try to figure something out. The boat actually will be very helpful to fight against the wind and the weather, because it's much easier when you have a trolling motor foot pedal to kind of steer and control where you're going than standing up on a kayak. And then every time I get pushed, I have to sit down, pedal, then get back up. Time consuming and tiring. Oh no, guys. Oh no. Oh, this is always so awkward. Thankfully they're not in their backyard or anything. That's like the worst. And this is why people hate when you fish their docks. All right, thankfully that was pretty easy. No one came out. Not that I'm like scared to talk to people, but I've definitely had that experience with people when you are fishing near the dock. There's been times where I haven't even hooked onto the dock or gone near it, just kind of been like 5-10 feet away, and they get all mad, like as if they own the spot around their dock, which I don't really know how that works. Maybe they do, but like you live on a lake, there's people, they fish, they're gonna fish your dock. There's nothing you can really do to stop that. There's a fish. Small, but finally got a nice little blow up, I guess. It didn't really blow up very much, but you know, gotta back up because we're getting really close to someone's yard. But here we go, fish number 4 on the frog. He inhaled that thing. Man, Didn't really blow up on the top of the water, but he definitely wanted that frog. This guy is probably, he's not the smallest one, because that one over there that was directly behind me on the ChatterBait was the smallest, but this guy's very skinny. If he had a little more weight on him, he's a decent length, but let's put him back. See if we can get fish number 5. Kind of gonna keep throwing this topwater around. It's really fun because these shallow areas by these people's houses and docks, super nice and shallow, grassy, so it's kind of a pain to pull anything through it like a ChatterBait, but this topwater seems to be getting quite a bit of action. So, and my girlfriend must be out of school because I'm getting a phone call. And when I'm making these videos, I typically try to come out and fish when she's at school, so that way she doesn't get mad at me for fishing all the time. But I know when she gets out of school, because as soon as she gets out of school, I start getting phone calls. And I was right. Hello?
Picked up last minute.
So I earlier mentioned how I was told there were some 10-pounders caught out of here recently. I saw some pictures of them. I know one of them was actually caught down here. This is a little canal, so we're gonna make our way down here, throw the frog because it is kind of shallow and small. So this just, I mean, looks like a spot that I'd get a nice bite on a frog. Remember earlier how I said I put new line on all my reels? Always make sure you set up your bait caster before you throw it. I forgot to set the brakes and everything and kind of just went for it. I'll be here for a minute. There's a huge grass carp right here. If you guys want to see that, that would be a fun video. Should I come out here one day with some bread, catch some grass carp? Let me know in the comments. If you're watching right now and you guys would want to see that video, comment below, because I've never caught carp before, but I've heard it's extremely fun. I've heard they fight so hard. There's another one right over there too. You guys can't see it probably, but they're all over this place, which makes sense because this place is extremely grassy. Alright guys, so I just want to go ahead right now and say I am so sorry. I caught another one. The camera was off again. This time it overheated. Last time I genuinely just didn't turn it on. This time it overheated, but this guy ate the frog again, and I just want to show you, he destroyed this Z-Man frog. It's like inside out, the hook's completely out. This little guy really wanted this frog. All right guys, so I think we're gonna go ahead and call the video there. It's actually been a pretty successful day. Caught a decent amount of fish. You know, when you go to a spot that you've never been to before, I know I said this earlier, but it's always exciting because you never know where these fish are gonna be, what they're gonna wanna eat. So you have to kind of try out a lot of things. And although it can be time consuming, and if you don't end up catching anything, it's not exciting, it's terrible. It's like a terrible day. Today was not one of those days. We got on some fish, we found out where they were. They loved the topwater and they loved the ChatterBait. The Texas rig I also threw around off camera. Didn't really have much luck on that. Had a couple little nibbles here and there, but nothing that really wanted to commit to it. So overall, I know next time I come back, I'm gonna spend a lot more time on this end of the lake that I'm at right now, as well as these cypress trees and these pads. They seem to be in there. We pushed up into a deep canal at one point where a bunch of docks were. Flipped those docks, nothing. So, you know, it's just kind of nice to come out here and get a little feel for the lake. Things always change, so it's not like I'll never go fish those other areas, but now I know, like, hey, when I come out here, this is an area I should maybe try first and stick to. We'll see you guys in the next video.